Welcome back everyone for another fast meal prep hack. So in today's episode, I'm going to show you how to make a high protein vegan dip. Football season is here, so let's go ahead and get started with the ingredients. So the first thing you need will be some fat-free refried beans. You can get this here at Trader Joe's, as you can see. And this is really good because when you look at the macronutrients, you're getting, just per serving, you're getting about 7 grams of protein. It's only about 22 grams of carbohydrates and 0 grams of fat. So I'm going to go ahead and put this to the side. And then the next ingredient I'm going to get will be in the fridge, okay? So let me go ahead and bring this back over here. And we're going to go ahead, go into the refrigerator, get some of these ingredients, okay? So the first thing I'm going to get is some purple onions, okay? And it really doesn't matter what type of onions you use. You can use white or purple, and truthfully, that's the only one I have left, okay? So I'm going to use the purple onions. I want to get some minced garlic, and also we're going to get some Beefless Crumbles, okay? And all these ingredients you can pretty much get at Trader Joe's. I got this one at Publix, but you can get regular garlic as well. Really doesn't matter. And then I believe that is it we're going to use for today's dip. All right. Now let me go ahead and bring you back to the stove. So the first thing you want to do, actually I want to bring you to the sink, okay? Because the first thing you want to do is rinse off your cans, okay? That's the first thing you always want to do before you open it, because you don't know how these products are being traveled. So you definitely want to put some soap, wash the can off with your finger, and then go ahead and rinse that off, all right? Get rid of any type of germs, bacteria that actually entering into the food, okay? So you definitely don't want stuff like that getting into your food. I'm gonna go ahead and put this into a can opener right now. And while that is opening up, now let's go back to the stove, okay? So now what I'm gonna do is go ahead and put it on medium heat, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and start chopping up my ingredients. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and grab a chopping knife, and we're going to use half of a purple onion, okay? Just like that. Cut off the ends, and then I'm going to go ahead and take off the first layer of the onion. Now onions is really good in potassium, okay? It's really great food to use, all right? Actually, I'm going to add a little bit more because this is a pretty smaller end of the onion. So I'm going to use a little bit more. It's going to be more equivalent to 3/4 of a cup to a half a cup, okay? I'm not really that focused in the macros for the onion because they're pretty low anyways, okay? But they are highly good for you. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and start chopping this up. And I'm going to saute the onions, okay? So actually, let me go ahead and bring the heat up a little bit higher so we can saute these onions pretty quick, because this is a high and fast meal prep hack, okay? So now, while that's cooking on the pan, I'm going to go ahead and still chop up more of these onions and make them into small little pieces. Now this is great. This is going to be a great dip because, you know, football season's here, and you know, this is a great thing that you can use when you have families and friends over. And the best thing about this dish is that it's super macro friendly, okay? So that's one of the best things about the dip. And if you really want to, which I've done it multiple times already with this recipe, I've just eaten it as a meal, okay? So like if I'm by myself and I don't have no friends to really entertain, I'll just go ahead and make it as a meal and eat it by myself, okay? And you're going to get tons, and with this meal, it's very high in potassium. It's high in vitamin, like a lot of different vitamins, like vitamin C, iron, calcium. I mean, you're getting tons of vitamins from onions and from this particular product, the Beefless Crumbles, okay? But we're not going to open that up yet. We're going to go ahead and add some garlic into it, all right? Give it some flavor. I'm a big garlic fan, and what we're going to do now is I'm going to go ahead with this rest of this onion, go ahead and chop this up, and then I'm going to go ahead and preserve it in like a meal prep box, something like that, so I can like when it comes to chopping more onions, it's already pre-made and ready to go. This is just a nice little tip that you can do when you're doing a lot of meal preps and you cook at home, okay? Just go ahead and chop up some of your onions and go ahead and prep them up into a bowl or something like that. And you can preserve it just like that, okay? Great way to go ahead and preserve your meals or pre-chopped veggies. I want to go ahead, bring y'all over here, okay, by the stove, so y'all can go ahead and see what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do now is I want to go ahead and use a plastic spoon, all right, and go ahead and start mixing this up, all right. And now, as you can see, I'm not even using any water. There's no need to, because the onions already has water in it, okay? So really don't even need to do all of that. And we're just going to try to saute these things together so you can have more flavor to the dish, okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and stir this up. And this really doesn't take that long because I have the heat on pretty high. Just put it up a little bit higher, because we're trying to make this food pretty fast, okay? Now while that's cooking, I want to go ahead and take y'all over here so we can check out this bean, okay? Now, you don't want to use any type of beans, okay? You definitely want to use the refried, because the thing with the refried, if you look inside the can, I want to tell you the truth, it looks pretty bad. Let me see if I'm getting this right. It looks like dog food, okay? I want to be very honest. It looks like dog food. But I want to tell you the truth, it tastes really good, all right? It tastes really, really good. And the reason you want to use the refried beans, let me just make sure you're facing, oh, losing camera. Make sure you're facing the kitchen. Now, the reason we want to use the refried beans is because it's so, the consistency, okay? It's so thick. And if you're using like dip and stuff like that, you want it to be able to pick up, because if you use like any other beans, it's kind of just like be more of a chili after that, and it's going to just fall off the chip, okay? So you want it as like a real dip so it can actually fit on the actual chip that you're using, okay? Now, looking at these onions, they seem like it's pretty much getting pretty sauteed already, all right? It doesn't really take that much to really get a lot of the flavor out. So now what we're going to do is go ahead and add the dip and also add the beefless chili. This is how easy this recipe is, okay? And we're just going to use a fork, try to bring it all out. And just to let y'all know, this is the refried beans is 100% vegan, okay? So there's really nothing to worry about there. I already checked. There's no animal byproduct, because, and you really want to make sure and check the refried beans, because most refried beans usually use pork, you know, but this one in particular is 100% vegan. It's just beans, okay? They don't even put oil in it, all right? So what I'm doing now is just spreading this apart, and I'm going to start lowering the heat, okay? Because I don't want the beans to burn and start sticking onto the pan, all right? And then what I'm going to do now is go ahead and grab the Beefless crumbles, open this up, and then add that to it, okay? Just like that. And that's pretty much it. This is it. That's the recipe. All right, that's pretty much the main ingredients. And I'm just going to use this fork and just start mixing it together, okay? I could use a spoon, but when you use the cooking spoon, especially in the beginning of the recipe, a lot of it starts caking up on the spoon, and then you're not able to get all the food to cook properly and evenly. All right, so that's why I use this fork instead. All right, I'm being kind of lazy as well, so I want to be real honest with you guys. All right, so with that said, it's all patted down, pretty much mixed up, and then we're going to go ahead and cover it, okay? Try to get the heat, hurry up and cook the food, okay? Now, with everything else that I have here, I'm just going to go ahead and start cleaning up the kitchen, okay? But when you clean up the kitchen, this actually helps with your meal prep, all right? When you have a clean kitchen, this really helps a lot. So let me go ahead and clean this really quick. Go ahead and rinse out this can. All right. And then after that, take this, put it in here. All right, almost done, you guys. And we're going to also add, let me bring the camera here so y'all can see me. I'm also going to add some more ingredients like B12 and things like that, just to give it a little bit more flavor and more nutrients to the dish, okay? Not B12, but nutritional yeast, okay? So, since everything's pretty much put away, and this is a really easy dish to make, let me bring it on back here, just refocus. All right. So like I said before, we're gonna grab some nutritional yeast. This is where you can get a lot of your B12 vitamins, okay? Also, if you want the dip to be spicy, you could also add in some cayenne and some paprika as well, okay? That's only if you want it spicy, but today we're just gonna use the B12, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and open this up. I keep calling the nutritional yeast B12, but we're going to add some nutritional yeast in there. And if you never tried nutritional yeast before, it does give it more of like a cheese flavor. And then we're going to start mixing this up again, okay? Now I'm using the big spoon. Because right now, the only thing we're waiting for is really just for it to just heat up, okay? And it's still thick. It keeps the thick consistency. And then after that, I want to show y'all like some chips that y'all can use, okay? Alright. So while that's cooking, right? Now some of the chips that you can use that's really good, and I personally like using, is this. Now these are pretty small. I want to be very honest. They're pretty small, but you can use them. Is this right here. You can bring this for like friends and family. Savory thin mini crackers, okay? Because when it comes to the macronutrients, as you can see, it says 37 crackers, which is one serving, okay? Equals up to 2.5 grams of fat, about 24 grams of carbohydrates, and 3 grams of protein. I mean, to get that many crackers, that's pretty good, and I'm going to go ahead and show you how it looks. All right, just like that. So it's good enough to get a nice little dip and eat. All right. So this is something that, again, you can get at Trader Joe's if you have one near you. It'd be a great thing you can actually use. Okay, and that's what you can use for your friends, or if you're with some friends and you really particularly don't care about the macros for your friends, you know, just get tortilla chips, you know, and then you can do the crackers yourself. Or if you want to really bring the carbs down, use like vegetables like celery, carrots. I mean, technically anything that's going to go with this dip is going to taste really good. And when it comes to the macronutrients, is really high in protein, okay? Which I will go ahead and send that to y'all very soon, okay? So now we're going to go ahead, come back here. It looks like it's pretty ready now, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and try it out. It's perfect. All right. It's pretty hot. All right. So now what we're going to do is go ahead and put everything in a bowl. So y'all can see how it looks. And see what I mean. And this is like another dish that, you know, it's a dip. It's not supposed to be that presentable. I mean, you can put it in a small saucer if you like. I'm just throwing everything in the bowl because I'm going to tell y'all the truth. I'm going to eat this right after this video. Once I'm finished making this video, I want to make this into a meal for myself. All right. So here it is, you guys. This is the high protein